God, yeah, the biggest house I could probably live in tolerably would be like 5 bedrooms. I feel like after that, that's kind of fucking pushing it, dude. Stay tuned for our next dual house, bro. We're gonna buy a mansion.
Would you want a... Oh shit, this door's just open. Would you want to live in a 1-story house or a 2-story house?
I used to want 2 stories, but 1 story is kind of where it's at, to be honest.
If I lived in a 2-story, I would want to never move again. Because moving up 3 flights of stairs like we did to get in this apartment sucks, dude. So
every time I get groceries, I have PTSD from fucking moving up here.
Bro, when I went to the gym the other day, walking back up the stairs, I was like, fuck, man. Like, I was like, my legs fucking kill, dude.
I could do 2 stories. It would just have to be that, like, let's say DualShock just fucking took off. And, like,
sure.
It's like, oh, yeah, let's, like, continue to live together and stuff like that. I'd be like, all right, dude, do you want the upstairs or you want the downstairs?
Yeah. For fucking real. I've lived in a 2-story before. I liked that house. I'm pretty sure that house was haunted.
Oh, fuck. All right, lay it down, bro. With the...
Okay, I forgot there was more stories that I haven't told you about that time when... Okay, so when I saw the story of when I told it earlier on this channel, the story of when I went to that daycare, right? I was living in a 2-story house that was right next to that daycare. Hold on, before I go on about this story, I really do need to figure out what the fuck we're doing.
So I'm gonna make up the story for him. There was one night where the fire was lit ever so incandescently, and Cody had such bad gas from his spicy chicken sandwiches and alcohol that he sprinted even, to the toilet. By the time he made it to the toilet, he went to wipe, but there was no poop there.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I mean, I'll just throw you guys off. I knew the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
bro.
what was I saying? There was a story I was going to say.
Something about haunted house that you were in.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Lay down, bro.
The same house.
So I was fucking this chick, right?
No, not at this age.
Wait, how old were you?
When that happened, I was 12.
Oh, Jesus. So I was fucking this chick, right?
Okay, so we'll go back out this way and we'll go downstairs. So I was living in this 2-story house. I was like right up the road from that daycare. That's why me and my buddy would go to that daycare and play basketball, right? I don't remember well, I have 2 stories. One of them is not a haunting thing, but another one kinda is. It's not like I don't know. It's not like, I'll explain the one that's more related to the ghost. So one time we were all hanging out in my parents' room in that house, which weirdly enough, my friend that lived kind of like 2 houses down from me that I would go play basketball with, he would say he had weird shit happen in his house too. And it was rumored that shit would happen, like because I knew a lot of people in that neighborhood, that weird things would happen in that neighborhood because like supposedly they built it over where like native burial grounds were.
Oh, fuck.
So that's why people suspected that it was like as haunted as it was in that area, because it was over the Donner Trail, you know, which, you know, about the Donner Party and stuff like that. So one time we were all hanging out. All the rooms in the house, in the 2-story house, are upstairs, all of them. The only rooms that are down on the first floor is the first dining room that you walk into. As soon as you walk in, to the right is the staircase to get you up to the rooms. You walk straight ahead, there's the living room, and then to the right is the kitchen. That's all on the first floor. That's all there is, and the garage. But you'd go on the second floor, there's my brother's room. You good, bro? You need an allergy pill?
Somebody's talking about me, bro.
We were all in my parents' room, all of us, including the dog. We're all in my parents' room. We were just all talking. And just randomly, My parents had their door open, right? And when you walk out of their door, the next door to the right is mine, and then the one straight across is my brother's, and then you take a left to go down the stairs to the first floor. Their door's open, and we're just all talking, and out of nowhere, we hear someone coughing downstairs, going like, like clear as day. To where we all of us stopped what we were talking about and went, what the fuck? Like who was that? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, was it the dog? And that was our first, and then we look on the ground, we're like, the dog's on the floor. We don't have any other dogs or anything like that.
When your brother was in the room with you guys.
Everybody was in that room. Everybody. Both my brothers, both my parents. Oh, shit. Damn. And I was like, I guess I'll go look. And I went down and looked, and there was fucking nobody there, dude.
That's okay.
No, not a single person there. So that was weird because we heard it clear as day. And I even asked her, I was like, we all heard it. I was like, you guys heard that too, right? And they're like, yeah. I was like, there's nobody in the fucking house, like, besides us. The other story that I have, or no, I have another story on top of this. I promise I'm not making these up. I promise.
Go for it.
So the other one that I had that I was thinking of originally that's not a ghost story is one time, like, on the second floor, right? I would sit by the window with the blinds up, and I'd open the window up, and I'd like chew on sunflower seeds and just throw the sunflower seeds out the window, and I just watch TV like straight ahead. So the window is on my left, right? And one time it's late at night, and I'm like chewing on sunflower seeds, watching TV, and to the left of me, past our fence, there's nothing. Nothing's developed. There's no houses or anything. The next developed houses are like beyond another block. So there's like a crossroad here, and then there's a road here, and road here. No house is developed. So it's all just dirt right there, right?
Yeah.
So you can see everything clear as day. But there was one street light that's on the corner. So you could kind of see what's going on out there. It's not like complete pitch black. So a car rolls up on the left, and I'm kind of watching it. It's like a black car, and it turns, it goes across, like the road's crossed this way. If the window's on my left, right, the road is going this way, and then the roads go up, right? So the car's driving this way, and I'm just kind of staring at it, and it rounds the corner where the street light is, and goes just past it, to where the car's not illuminated by the light, right? Two guys get out. That's the fucking battery. Good shit. We needed that. Sorry. Totally fucking ADD brain.
No, you're good.
So two guys get out of the car, right? I can't make out what they look like because they're right past the street light, and they're just far enough away to where like I can see what's happening, but I can't like make out because I'm on the second floor and the street's kind of a bit away. So, but I can tell that there's two people coming out of the car. They come out of the car, they open the trunk, and they both grab an end of the bag, right? They take the bag, they throw it out of the car, shut the trunk, get in the car, and leave. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I shit you. This is a true story. I shit you not. And I'm sitting there going like, what the fuck? That was weird. And I kind of sit there for a minute, like thinking somebody's going to come up and take the bag or whatever. And the bag is just sitting there, right? If there's a fucking street light that's illuminating the corner, the road that goes up, it was on the right side in the dirt. Because like I said, it's all dirt right there. And I can tell there's just a bag sitting there, right? I can't make out just exactly what it is, but I mean, it looked fucking huge. It took two people to carry it and throw it in the dirt. And then they drove off. And then I was like, I'm 12. So I was like, I'm too fucking scared to go out there and see what the fuck it is. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. I was like, I'll go fucking see it when I get home from school tomorrow. So I get up, I go, and now mind you, my backyard faces this giant dirt area, right? I should have in the morning gone over there to see if the bag was there, but where my school was walking distance, and I could just walk. I had to walk the other direction. So the front of my house is facing where the school is, where the bag was behind me. So when I got up in the morning, I just left the house, went to school, right? And I was like, when I get off of school, when I get back or whatever, because I walk back this way, I was like, I'll just go walk past the house and go see if the bag was there. The bag wasn't there. But I walked over to where it was, and there's a giant dent like in the dirt. And I was like, what the fuck? And I told my parents and they were like, yeah, whatever. I was like, I'm telling you. And the first thing I thought, even then at 12, was like, that there was a body in that bag. That was the first, or it was money. It was either money or a body. That was the two things that I thought. And it was a black car too. The other story that I have, this one, I don't know if it's,
well, hold on. You never heard anything like reported about?
No.
Oh, fuck.
No. But see, shady shit happened in that neighborhood all the fucking time. All the fucking time. Like there was just, yeah, it was just very shady neighborhood. Okay, so we need to go back. Before I tell the next story, we need to go back.
You're good. That's pretty fucked, dude. Holy
yeah,
shit.
that's crazy, right? So the next
thing I would do would be like, I would wake the fuck out of my parents, be like, Dad, Mom, like
this next story, I did that. Okay. So I don't know what this was. I don't know if it was. I'm still kind of convinced that it was one of my buddies that lived on my block fucking with me. But there's some variables to this story that make me go like, I don't know how the fuck they would have gotten away with it. Like, so what happened is it was another one of those nights where I'm just sitting. Most of the weird shit that's happened, like ghost related or weird shit, was in that house in that neighborhood. I don't know why, but it was there. So I'm sitting in the same exact spot watching TV or whatever. Because after school, what I used to do is way back when is I would just either turn on the radio because I had a radio like a 3-disc CD changer radio with, and I spliced these 2 speakers together, like the wires, and I'd plug them in the same slot, so I'd have 4 speakers instead of 2.
Fuck yeah!
Because I was, thinking I was a genius doing that, but so I would listen to the radio. I used to listen to a local radio here all the time. It was a rock station. That's how I found a lot of bands and stuff. It was before I had iTunes or anything like that. It was, the internet was around, but it wasn't like Wi-Fi wasn't a household thing. Yeah, it wasn't a household thing.
Yeah, Wi-Fi was not a thing until Cody's birthday.
Straight up though. My 13th birthday, they're like, "We got you a Wi-Fi router."
Sick, dude. I swear to God. Halo.
I swear to God, dude.
It still cracks me up, bro.
Okay, the fastest way will be to go up here. So I'm trying to remember.
Just the idea of little Cody just saying to his mom and dad, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut you guys off from the internet. You guys are,
yeah.
You guys didn't do good at work today, so."
Yeah, so I mean, I had a PS2 in my room. I used to play either PS2 or listen to the radio or watch TV. And I had like a VHS player and a DVD player, so that's how I watched movies and stuff. I mean, fuck, I feel old as shit for saying that, but that's what I used to do. So I used to just sit right by that window all the time and just have it open, and I'd get sunflower seeds from this gas station that was right by us. Actually, I'll go back in there and put some shit away. So one day, I'm fucking doing that, just like that last story, and it's late at night, and I can't see shit for some reason. I don't know if the street light's off or anything like that. I remember it being like pitch black for some reason in the backyard when this happened. Because like I said, there was the fence in the backyard, and then beyond the fence of my backyard was nothing but dirt, right? It was just those streets. And I start hearing, like I shut the window, right? I get done with the sunflower seeds. I shut the window and I'm about to go to bed. So I'm laying in my bed now. And all of a sudden I hear like what sounds like someone's throwing fucking rocks at my window. Like little rocks, like bouncing off my window. I was like, what the fuck? So I'm listening to it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like thinking it might be the wind blowing something up there and it's hitting the window or whatever. And then I open the window and I'm like, hello? And I don't hear anything. Because I thought maybe it might have been my buddy that lived 2 houses down throwing rocks at my window going like, come outside and let's go do something, like.
Yeah.
So I was like, hello? And I heard nothing. And then I shut it again and I heard it again. And I was like, what the fuck? So now I'm like, because I can, it's happening multiple times. It'll happen and it clearly sounds like someone's throwing rocks at my window. And so I was like, I'm going to go get my dad. So I walked over to the next room and I got my dad. And I was like, hey, I think someone's throwing rocks at my window. He was like, what? He was like half asleep. And I was like, I think somebody's fucking throwing rocks at my window. And he's like, whatever. It's probably, I was like, no, come listen. he's like, all right. And he comes in the room and I like turn the light off in my room in case somebody, because I'm thinking it's somebody, right? And I was like, I'm gonna turn the light off in my room so that he can't see that my dad's in here or whoever's doing this, right? And I was like, listen, and there's just rocks hitting the window. And at first, it takes a while before it was like one of those situations where he's like,
Really?
yeah. And I was like, no, I'm telling you. And I was like, just wait. Because I was getting pissed. I was like, just wait. And we just waited. And then all of a sudden we heard it. And he like looked over to his left because, you know, like the window is right here. And he goes, he opens the window. And he's like, hey, who the fuck's out there, right? And there's nobody. And I was like, okay, you wait here. And my dad's waiting there. And he shuts the window again. I go out the front. And like I said, the fence, like beyond the fence of our yard is just nothing but dirt. So I go out front. I go around the side of the house and I go to see if there's anyone there. The thing about this is that why I think it could be something else that I don't know is that there's no neighbor to my left and there's no neighbor behind me. It's all dirt. Mm-hmm. So if somebody was back there, there's only like any direction they chose to run, I would see them. Because it's just, I have the fucking high ground, Obi-Wan, and I can see all this shit. So I fucking go around. I'm like, you stay up here and look down. So if they hear me coming around the corner and they bolt, you can see them. So I round the corner and there's nobody there. And I look up at my dad and he's got the window open. I'm like, do you see anybody? And he was like, no. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it was so clear that like, I'm still partially convinced that it had to have been like somebody I knew just fucking with me. But then again, I'm like, where the fuck would they have ran? I would have seen them. Or my dad would have seen him. Like, those are the three. I promise. There's no.
It's okay if you have more, bro.
I'm trying to think now. I think those are the only three like weird stories that I have.
I'm kind of sad that I don't really have more, to be honest. Like I had that one where I was just up super late playing Wii, and then the whole Ouija board thing. I wish I knew more about my brother's ex-wife.
Oh yeah,
I'll have to text him about that. But
yeah, no. Well, I've never told you those stories. I thought I told you those stories.
You definitely told me the first one at the
daycare.
Yeah,
but I didn't tell you about the body bag or
no. I don't have like any alien stories or like sightings of UFOs or anything like that.
I have one story with that. It was a different house.
Yeah, I've never seen any personally. Little jealous, but I mean, I guess where we used to live would probably be like the optimal place to actually see them. But
did I tell you the one UFO story that I have? I only have one UFO story.
I think so, but dude, you're more than welcome to tell it. Now's the place, and now
I know,
the time.
dude. We're fucking. It's Halloween, so I'm living in
the government spying. Right?
Yeah. So I'm living in a different house now, and we had a basketball hoop out front. I'm like 15 years old when this happened, and it's like after school, so it's like 5, 6 o'clock. The sun's not down yet. And I recently reminded my brother of this story because my middle brother, who you met recently, I was talking with him. I was like, dude, do you remember when this happened? He was like, yeah, I totally remember that. And I was like, you do? And I was like, tell me that wasn't like a fucking UFO. And he was like, no, it 100% was. So we're playing basketball. And all of a sudden, like, it's a road you turn down. And then another road down here is a cul-de-sac, right? And like we're shooting hoops and the sun's setting to my right and the hoop is like in the like at the edge of the driveway, right? And we're playing in the street. I look over to my left, in the sky, it just looks like a star, right? Like but it's not dark enough for stars to be out, but it looks like a star. And I see it and it's just kind of moving like this, like just really dramatic. Like it's not slow, like to where you'd think it's a satellite. It's just like moving like weird as fuck, right? And I'm kind of I'm like, dude, I'm like, and I told my brother, I'm like, look at that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, it was weird. It didn't make any sense. I fucked up. I got to get the crank. So I can fucking
crank it. Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? And I like, we kind of stopped playing basketball and was staring at it. All of a sudden, like around my shoulder, this guy on my street's on the phone. And he goes, do you guys fucking see that? And we're like, yeah, dude, we see it. As soon as he says that and we're looking, he's on the phone. He's like, you're never going to believe what I'm fucking looking at right now. And like, he's talking to whoever on the phone. It stops moving like this and goes and zooms straight up in the air. And he just kind of looks at us and we're like, holy shit. Like we knew at that point it was a UFO. We knew right then and there. And like, I looked at my brother, I was like, what the fuck? I ran inside. My mom was asleep and I was like, Mom. She was like, what? I was like, we just saw a fucking UFO. Like, it was clear. What would you? Yeah. I was like, what would you do? I'd be like, I have to tell somebody. I texted all my friends. I was like, dude, I literally just saw a UFO. Like,
that's fucking crazy, bro.
And then I haven't, I brought it up to my brother. I was like, you remember when we saw that? And he was like, dude, of course. He was like, it was the craziest shit.
That's one of those things that'll like never leave you for as long as you live. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't seen any. I'm sure my oldest brother has seen probably like, I feel like he probably has some stories, but me personally.
And so like when I see videos of UFOs, sometimes I'll see a video of like a UFO that exactly what I saw. Like there's one video I saw and I sent it to Troy. I was like, dude, this is a legit video. I was like, this is pretty much what I saw. There was a dot again in the sky. It was kind of later at night. And you know those laser pointers with the long, that you can shoot hella high? There was a dot in the sky and it was moving hella fast. And the guy on the camera was like, dude, point your laser pointer at it. And he pointed the laser pointer at it. As soon as the laser hit it, went and like moved immediately out of the way. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, that kind of sudden movement is exactly what I saw.
That is fucked, actually.
Where like, it just looks like nothing can move that fast. And like everything that I've heard described, like as far as like what UFOs can do and like what the government has said about UFOs is like they have no visible propulsion or anything like that. And they move incredibly fast to where like you can't comprehend how fast they move. And that's exactly what I saw. It just looked like a star just moving hella fucking fast.
It's
like
to the point now where
they're
like,
real, bro. They're fucking
no, 100%.
The aliens are fucking real, bro.
It's to the point now though that where it used to be like, oh my god, fucking UFO, and to capacity it's still like that, but I feel like we're much closer to like, UFO. That's cool. Like I feel like everyone is so like everyone knows there's aliens, bro. There's no fucking line of thinking that you could follow that would be like, oh, yeah, we're the only intelligent life on you.
What do you think they are though?
Not what they were showing off at Mexico or whatever it was. That's
you don't think they were the fucking you don't think they were those piñatas and the fucking
No, I don't think they were paper mache, thanks. That's some bullshit. There's no, and we've talked about this before, there's no feasible way that it could be so proportionate to like humans in any capacity unless, the only thing is, unless aliens came down, genetically modified some species like monkeys, and that's how we came to be. But no, I think the human body is far too inefficient to be like alien.
Here's the thing that's got me kind of tripping about it, right? Is that like I was watching a video about it, like we constantly are looking out in the universe, right? Especially now that we have the James Webb telescope, right? Which we're discovering new, you've heard about this telescope, right? The James Webb. Yeah. We're discovering new things all the time. Like they were able to look back because the further out you look into space, technically the further back in time you're looking, because the light is taking that long for it to travel and reach you.
Okay.
So like if you're seeing the light of a planet, chances are it's like fucking a long ass fucking time ago because of how long it takes for the light to reach you. You know what I mean? So you're technically looking into a window of the past. So when you look further out in the space, the further back in time you're looking. So scientists were hoping, they're like, well, we're able to look so far out in the universe that we'll actually be able to see the formation of the first few galaxies. But they're not going to look like any of the galaxies that we see now, because at that time of the universe, that time period of the universe, the galaxies weren't formed the way they are now, right? But then when they took pictures of it, they found that the galaxies looked exactly like our galaxies now. So then it kind of disproved like their whole theory of like what would happen at the early stages of the universe being formed, because they were going along with the idea of like the Big Bang and like the theory of everything, going with Stephen Hawking's thing, right? So I know I'm rambling. I apologize.
No, ramble, please. I finished that and it was not pleasant.
So it's kind of got scientists like baffled of like what that fucking means. But going back to my alien theory is like, okay, if we're constantly looking out into the universe, how have we not even, which like a video brought that up. I was like, that's kind of a good point. Like if we're looking at if we have the ability to look so far out and look at all these different systems, right? The closest solar system to us is Proxima Centauri, I think. I think that's the closest solar system to us. How is it that we haven't even found any sort of glimpses of civilization out there? You know what I mean? It makes me think like, okay, then what is it that we're seeing? We're seeing something, but
that's actually a great question. So I'm gonna have two lines of thinking here. First off, very stupid line of thinking. Why are all planets round?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Not like a Minecraft planet out there. There's not like a square cube planet.
You know what's weird about that too? That like I make the comparison is like if you look at like protons and electrons, right?
Yeah.
Electrons orbit around protons, right? And if you kind of look at the structure of, or models of what we've seen of it, it kind of looks like planets orbiting around the sun. So it's just interesting to see the parallels between down to the molecular level to the grand scale of the universe of like the patterns in that. I couldn't tell you why they're round though. Like I have no fucking idea.
Second line of thinking.
Now we can go back.
Was this is on my Matrix shit.
Dude, ramble. I've been rambling the whole time. Please take it away.
On the topic of aliens, so there's so many theories as to like mind-breaking theories of aliens, ghosts, what's it called? Simulation theory, stuff like that. What if aliens are like implanted to us in the simulation to distract us from the potential of us being in a simulation? What if it's just like a blanket over us? It's like, oh, hey, like pay attention to these alien things because you're actually hooked up to the Matrix right now.
Like one of my theories is kind of like that. Like if we're in a simulation, right? Which I'm actually starting to believe that we are. I mean, I mean, there's a good chance. I don't know for sure, but like, who's to say what we're seeing isn't pretty much just like drones or cameras of whoever built this simulation watching us? They're just simply watching us. Like, they're not beings that live within the universe. They're whatever made the universe spying on us. You get what I mean?
So, and maybe that's why we haven't seen any signs of life outside of like the universe, because maybe the render graphics are set to low. The render distance is set to low.
You know, they say that there's have you heard about those photons that they shoot through a slit, and when not observed, they behave like how they're supposed to? I'm not a fucking scientist, but the moment they're observed, they behave like a wave, which they're not supposed to. Only when they're observed do they behave that way.
What do you mean by observed?
So if you're not looking at it, when you shoot photons through these two slits, on the other side of it are two slits coming through. I could have this backwards, so correct me if I'm wrong, but according to scientists, that's not how they should be behaving. So then they would stick something like a camera or whatever on the other side of the slit to observe what's happening. But the moment they do that, then all of a sudden the photons behave how they're supposed to behave, implying that the photons themselves, right, are aware that they're being observed. Which, if that's the case, that'd be like the fucking... to put it in video game terms, if you're playing like a video game in an open world, right, and the game doesn't render everything at once. The game only renders what's on screen. So if I'm playing a third person, say like Horizon Zero Dawn, right, and I'm on top of one of those fucking tower machines or whatever, right, and I'm looking out on the whole map, well, the game's only going to render exactly what I'm looking at. So the moment I start turning the camera, all of a sudden what I'm not looking at is fading out. That's how the processing works on like a console or a PC. It's just the cone of what I'm seeing.
Great parallel.
As if the coding in the game is aware that you're observing it. So if you take that kind of mentality and you apply it to what I just said about the photons, then, I mean, yeah, like, that's just fucking crazy, right? Like, I've known about that thing, the photon thing, for a long time, but every time I watch a video on it, I'm like, fuck, man, that is trippy as shit. Like,